The new 2DS XL. It's said to be one of the hardest fixes among them, if not the hardest. I've done a fix on these once before, and it's pretty difficult. So just to help you out, who just want to fix this upper screen, I made this video to hopefully give you some useful tips while opening this thing. Yeah, there's nothing much to say. We're just gonna try to fix this upper screen. Let's get into it. Okay, so beforehand, there are some things you need to use while fixing this thing. First off, screwdriver, obviously. Second off, a little place to keep your screws in. I've got this little thing over here. Third, your tweezers. Very importantly, next you need something to put under the upper screen while taking it apart. And maybe the most important thing for this one, a hair dryer. It sounds weird, but we really need to heat this up. So let's get this started. Okay, so first things first, make sure everything is out of there. Any SD cards or games or whatever they might be in there, just take it out because you might damage it in the process and it might not open well while it's in there. Second off, at first there are 4 screws. There is a screw over here, over here, over here, and over here. You take those out. Well, this console has 2 broken screws because someone else tried to fix it before me. I actually had to replace the whole motherboard, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, you take those 4 screws out, like so. Just need a regular screwdriver. And you would normally also remove these 2, but those are broken in my case. So what we do next is take the bottom part off, and you easiest part to do that, you can use your tools for this as well. Might be a bit hard to do at first, but you'll definitely get it eventually. Like so. So now that's open, don't immediately rip it off. First, make sure you detach these ribbon cables. There's 1 ribbon cable and 2 small cables for the speakers. You can use your tweezers for this part. There we go. And yes, you will see the volume slider coming off. That's fine. Next, these 2 speaker cables. Those 3 are loose. You can just take it off and put it to the side. Alright, so motherboard. Before you're able to remove the motherboard in the 2DS XL, you have to remove the C-stick or a circle pad and the battery along with it, plastic around it. Now, there are also some screws missing in this system, but the easiest way to take these off are the 1 screw over here and the 1 screw over here. But before you do that, remove the Wi-Fi antenna, like so. Now you can take this off. Okay, so my screws are a bit screwed up, so I'll need another way to open it. But just remember, start with these 2 screws. Well, next off, you just take this off. Yeah, you can do it however you want. You can just rip it off. You don't really need the ribbon cable anymore, but I like to keep it alive. Next up, the most fucked up part about this fix, getting this off without breaking it. Okay, so you take your hair dryer, you start heating that bitch up like crazy. It doesn't matter if you damage anything, the thing that's in there is already broken, so you can just start heating that up. And I'm gonna do a time lapse of this because it's gonna take a long time. I can already tell. If I break something, I will say it afterward. So, to get this off, what I did is heat it up very badly in one corner, then push a needle under it to get a little glimpse, and then I pushed one of these under it, and those are your saving angels. You just push as much of them as you need under there. You can't have enough of these. As you can see, this goes in very roughly, so it doesn't really go any further. If you get that, you just immediately heat it up again. So I'm gonna heat it up right now. Then you continue on moving forward. As you can see, it just slides right through there. Now, be very careful not to bend it too far up. Otherwise it might break. I've got this thing over here as well. You can use anything you like as long as it's flat. And I can already see it's not going any further again, so we need to heat it up even further. Even more on this side. We did it! It's off and it's still alive. It didn't break. How great is that? Holy shit. Oh my god. We did it, boys. We did it. Okay. Any of these things you can just put back. It will probably still stick a bit afterward. Otherwise you can just put some glue in there. Anyway. Continuing onward. Again, while opening this thing, just be very careful and cautious. I would recommend using these again to open this upper screen. Just push them in there. That will probably do the trick. Look, mine's already broken and I didn't even do that. I think it was already broken beforehand. Like so. Okay, there we go. Yeah, mine has a crack in here, apparently. I didn't really notice that before, but yeah. It has a crack. Anyway, that's not that big of a deal. Next part we need to focus on is getting this screen out of there without leaving too much residue, because every time I've seen someone try to remove the screen, like every time it just splits apart and you just get one of the two pieces. So what I'm gonna try to do is first remove this whole thing along with the screen, and then see if we can take it off without splitting it apart. Otherwise, we'll have to just clean it again. Again, hairdryer. And yeah, you can just push against the screen, it's broken anyway. While doing so, you can again use these things. Look, you can push in between the screen and the black piece. While you're doing that, you can see on the other side it's coming up. So while it's coming up on the other side, you can push something in between that as well. Just like so. Now you can push it through. Don't forget about this metal piece in here that makes it go into sleep mode. You can't push your thing any further because of that. Again, I need some more heat. Okay, and now we've gone really far, so you can just wiggle it off. You can just bend it a little bit carefully and it will come off eventually. Okay, I've got it. Put that to the side, and this is the part we're gonna work with. You can remove this metal piece as well if you want to. You don't really have to. And as you can see, the screen is already splitting. Oh, it's already breaking. Okay. What I'm gonna do is heat it up. When it's heated up, I take it apart a bit and try to push one of these under the screen. That might actually work. I'm not sure. Okay, I got it. It's under there, so just work your way to the other side. Okay, mine cracked. So that side cracks, so I'm just gonna go this side. And it also cracked. Give me a second. Oh, and it's separated. Fuck. Okay, let's just get that off. And continue on with this. So what's left on here is only glass. It's the front of the screen. It's glass and a little firm or something. It's glass and a little other piece, but it doesn't really matter what it is. The only thing that matters is how to get it off. And this is actually working pretty well. Oof. Up until there then. Let's see if we can peel it off. There we go. It actually worked. I can't believe it actually worked pretty well. Holy shit. Okay. Tweezers to get the last few pieces of glass off of there. There we go. It's off. We did it. Again. Once again. Okay. Anyhow, next off you can put this back on this part. Well, when you're done cleaning it, of course. Okay, after you're done cleaning it, you can put this back on there. Actually wasn't that bad. Before we actually get the cable connector in correctly, let's get the screen in correctly, because that's more of a challenge than getting the cable through the hinge. With most 3DSs, it's the case of the hinge being the most troublesome part, but in this case, it's actually the screen itself. Okay, so your new screen probably has a protective film. You can take that off and carefully place the screen in there correctly. And there are two little like plastic pieces coming onto it that should fit right, exactly like so. Now for this hinge, it's just as easy as that. I'm gonna put a little piece of tape over there to keep it in place, just to be sure. There we go. Let's continue on putting this back boy back together. Let's get the back piece over here. Make sure you click these in correctly, like so. And yeah, that part is done. I'm just gonna screw it back together and such, and boof. Now, when putting this back piece on, I'm just gonna put some glue on here to make it stick in better. Now, there's only one way this piece can get in, because it has some holes in the top part. It should stick on perfectly fine like it used to before. If it doesn't, put some more glue in there. There you go, that's your upper screen. Now, the last tip of today, because the other parts you can figure out yourself. And this is a tip that goes for every 3DS model. I would definitely recommend get a piece of tape, cutting a small piece off with the thickness of a maybe a screwdriver you could kind of refer to, and just make sure you roll this ribbon cable up and then tape it together. When it's through there, you can get the tape off, and everything will be fine. So it's as easy as that. That's the last tip. You might have already known about this if you've fixed 3DSs before, or 2DSs. Fold it up like so, get it through the hinge, and take the tape off. Might be the most straightforward tip there is, but why as hell, why not? Now, to get this hinge back in, it's as easy as just pushing it. There we go. And it's in. Test it before closing it. Definitely a good tip. And it works. As you see, we've done it it actually looks fucking perfect. So, these are some tips on fixing the new 2DS XL screen. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope I could help you with your problems. And I hope you can also fix your 2DS as well as I did with mine. Still a bit surprised about it. Yeah, nothing much else to say. Thanks for watching. Both signing off.